Rolling.
That was a slate. Okay.
I'm gonna cut. You are out of frame. Do it one more time.
Scene 1F, take 2.
Continuity's fake. But I think we covered her a bit too much.
I work at Lillies of the Field. I've been in business for 8 years. This is a homeless ministry. I was on the street helping the homeless for 8 years. So July the 15th this year will be 9 years inside.
I work at Vantage Vintage in Salt Lake, and I've worked here for 1.5 years now. I'm really passionate about sustainability, so I've always worked in secondhand clothing, and the owners are really cool people, so I wanted to be part of that.
I own a shop called Re-Finery, and I have had this store in Utah this is in my 4th year. This is my 2nd location. We do a little bit more than just regular consignment. We do upcycling and mending and handmade.
I own the Village Vintage Interiors. Been in the vintage community for about 16 years. We used to, when we started, we refurbished and refinished furniture and just brought it back to life. And we just love the community. We love the people that we came across and met, customers and vendors alike. And so we decided that we wanted a place that was a store that we would shop.
My favorite item currently, I try not to choose because then I don't have to take it home. Probably a piece of jewelry.
The most interesting piece that I've ever heard of, we had this pair of Levi's from the 1800s. And there's 2 owners of Vantage, and they went in this abandoned property and had to dig through tons and tons of old clothes, nasty stuff to find these Levi's, and they had cigarette burns, and then you could just tell they've been through a lot of people. Really cool jeans.
So one of them is an upcycled sweater that a guy I've been working with brought in that he's worked on.
The wedding box that's right behind you. It's just an old antique Indian piece wedding box that they'd use for dowries and things like that.
Oh, this trunk right here. This trunk came back from World War II with the young man that brought back in the trunk everything that he owned. And when he gave it to me, he gave me the history of the trunk, and he gave me another couple of items that he brought back from Japan.
It's nice to know that we're just doing a small part to keep things sustainable. There's so much out there, and it's really not a competitive business because there's so much out there. Everybody can really find their own niche and their own interests, and it's really easy for them to curate those items because we don't really need to be making more.
People should buy vintage because it's a lot better for the planet. I think it's really cool also to have one of everything, because you walk into any commercial store like Zara or something and there's going to be 10 of the same shirt or something, but if you buy vintage or you buy secondhand, a lot of the time there's only one of everything that you buy.
To work in resale clothing and fashion is way more sustainable than new fashion, because new fashion is responsible for about 10% of our carbon footprint, and it's the 3rd largest polluting industry in the world. So it's nice to know I'm not contributing to those things.
You get a lot more out of it. You get something that lasts a lot longer, something that has stood the test of time. You're reducing waste because you're reusing and repurposing, and that's kind of major.
You should be aiming to wear things at least 30 times. I think that number's pretty low, but if that's what we're shooting for, it kind of tells you what's going on in the marketplace.
To recycle America. We're the most wasteful country there is, and there's so much that goes to the landfills. And so repurposing, even if you repurpose it, you're still going to end up you know, with a lot in the landfills because the old stuff lasts, and it eventually gets torn down or recycled or to the landfill. Recycle.
Sustainable.
Community.
Repurposing.
Small business.
Clothing and fashion.
Planet.
Reducing waste.
Vintage and upcycling.
Local business.
Landfill waste goes down.